Anthony "Fat Tony" Salerno was a notorious American mobster who rose to prominence within the Genovese crime family, one of New York City's most powerful and infamous criminal organizations. Born and raised in East Harlem, New York, Salerno's early life was marked by his involvement in organized crime. Starting as a young enforcer for the Luciano family, later renamed the Genovese family, Salerno delved into illicit activities including gambling, numbers running, loan sharking, and protection rackets. His criminal career began to flourish as a member of the 116th Street crew, led by the infamous Michael "Trigger Mike" Coppola. Salerno's rise through the mob's hierarchy was fueled by his keen business acumen and ruthless determination. He took control of a lucrative numbers racket in Harlem that reportedly generated millions of dollars annually, along with a profitable loan sharking operation. When Coppola fled to Florida in 1948 to avoid murder charges, Salerno seized the opportunity to take over the crew, solidifying his position in the criminal underworld. By the 1950s, Salerno's influence extended beyond street-level operations. In 1959, he played a covert role as a financial backer for a heavyweight boxing title fight at Yankee Stadium between Ingemar Johansson and Floyd Patterson. Despite his involvement, Salerno faced no legal repercussions. Over the years, he expanded his empire, splitting his time between his luxurious properties, including a sprawling 100-acre horse farm in Rhinebeck, New York, a residence in Miami Beach, and an upscale apartment in Manhattan's Gramercy Park. He also frequented the Palma Boys Social Club in East Harlem, which became a hub for his operations. Salerno's career spanned decades, during which he held critical positions within the Genovese family, serving as consigliere, underboss, and eventually acting boss. His ability to command loyalty and maintain control over highly lucrative operations cemented his legacy as one of the most influential figures in organized crime history. By the 1960s, Anthony Salerno, also known as Fat Tony, was operating one of the most extensive numbers rackets in New York City, generating an estimated $50 million annually. His base of operations was the Palma Boys Social Club, located in East Harlem, where he managed his illicit activities with precision and discretion. The FBI alleged that Salerno oversaw a sprawling network of bookmakers and loan sharks that collectively earned around $1 million per year. To navigate the legal challenges that came with his ventures, Salerno enlisted the services of the high-profile attorney Roy Cohn. However, his operations caught up with him on April 20, 1978, when he was convicted of illegal gambling and tax evasion, resulting in a 6-month sentence in federal prison. Following his release in early 1981, Salerno suffered a mild stroke, prompting him to retreat to his estate in Rhinebeck, New York, to recover. At the time of his health setback, he held the position of underboss in the powerful Genovese crime family. Later that year, with the passing of Genovese front boss Frank Thierry on March 31, 1981, Salerno assumed the role of front boss. While law enforcement believed Salerno was the ultimate leader of the Genovese family, insiders in the New York Mafia knew he was a figurehead. The true power rested with Vincent "the Chin" Gigante, who operated behind the scenes. Alphonse "Little Al" Darco, a former acting boss of the Lucchese crime family who eventually turned state's evidence, revealed that when he was inducted into the Lucchese family in 1982, it was clear that Gigante was the actual leader of the Genovese family. This strategy of using front bosses to shield the true head of the organization from scrutiny began after the death of Vito Genovese in 1969. Philip "Benny Squint" Lombardo, who succeeded Genovese, relied on this method to avoid law enforcement attention, a tactic later adopted by Gigante after Lombardo retired in 1981. This deliberate misdirection was a hallmark of the Genovese family's ability to evade authorities and maintain their dominance within organized crime circles. On February 25, 1985, Anthony "Fat Tony" Salerno, alongside 8 other prominent New York Mafia bosses on the infamous Mafia Commission, faced federal indictment in what became known as the Mafia Commission trial. By October 1986, Fortune magazine labeled the then 75-year-old Salerno as the most powerful and influential mobster in America, citing his substantial wealth and influence. This designation made him the nominal lead defendant in the trial, but not without controversy. Many critics argued that law enforcement exaggerated Salerno's significance to draw public attention to the case, painting him as a larger-than-life figure within organized crime. Salerno's initial bail request was denied, sparking a legal battle that reached the United States Supreme Court. In United States v. Salerno, the court ruled that his potential threat to public safety justified holding him without bail. Despite this setback, Salerno, along with his co-defendants, pleaded not guilty to the charges on July 1, 1985. However, on November 19, 1986, he was found guilty on RICO charges. The following January, he and 6 other defendants were handed severe sentences, 100 years in prison without parole, coupled with a $240,000 fine. As the Mafia Commission trial unfolded, Salerno faced additional legal troubles. On March 21, 1986, he was indicted in a separate federal racketeering case. This indictment alleged that Salerno secretly controlled 2 major concrete companies, S&A Concrete Company and Transit Mix Concrete Corp., and used these businesses to secure lucrative construction projects, including the Mount Sinai School of Medicine, Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, and the iconic Trump Tower. Prosecutors also accused him of illicitly aiding Roy Lee Williams's election as president of the Teamsters Union. Salerno maintained his innocence, pleading not guilty to all charges. In October 1988, the law caught up with him once again. Salerno was convicted in the second case and received an additional sentence of 70 years in prison, a $376,000 fine, and an order to forfeit half of his alleged racketeering proceeds, estimated at $30 million. This series of convictions cemented Salerno's fall from power, marking him as one of the most infamous figures in the history of organized crime. In 1986, following the conviction of Anthony "Fat Tony" Salerno during the infamous Commission trial, a significant revelation emerged that reshaped the public's perception of the Genovese crime family. Salerno's trusted confidant and longtime associate, Vincent "the Fish" Cafaro, decided to cooperate with the FBI. Cafaro disclosed a stunning secret. Salerno was never the true leader of the Genovese family. Instead, he served as a decoy for the real boss, Vincent "the Chin" Gigante. According to Cafaro, this elaborate deception had been in place since 1969, allowing Gigante to operate from the shadows and evade law enforcement scrutiny. One of the FBI's surveillance recordings further supported Cafaro's claims. In a captured conversation, Salerno and Capo Matty the Horse, Ianiello, were reviewing a list of potential new recruits for another crime family. When Salerno noticed that the list lacked the candidates' nicknames, he appeared disinterested and deferred the decision, remarking, "I'll leave this up to the boss." This casual statement reinforced the idea that Salerno was not the Genovese family's true leader. However, as Selwyn Rabb, a veteran organized crime journalist for the New York Times, pointed out, this revelation did not undermine the legal foundation of Salerno's conviction. In his book 5 Families, Rabb explained that Salerno's 100-year sentence was not based on his alleged position as the Genovese boss, but rather on specific criminal activities that were thoroughly proven in court. This distinction ensured that the trial's outcome remained unaffected, despite the dramatic unveiling of the Genovese family's carefully maintained facade. After his conviction and imprisonment, Salerno's health deteriorated due to his diabetes and suspected prostate cancer. On July 27, 1992, Anthony Salerno died at the U.S. Medical Center for Federal Prisoners in Springfield, Missouri. Salerno was buried at St. Raymond's Cemetery in the Throgs Neck section of the Bronx in New York City. His legacy is marked by his role as a shrewd, old-school gangster who maintained power through a combination of cunning, low-profile leadership, and ruthless efficiency. Salerno was widely regarded as a key power broker in the Genovese family during the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. Although he publicly held the title of front boss, this was largely a smokescreen for the true boss, Vincent "the Chin" Gigante, who operated in the shadows. Salerno's position allowed him to deflect law enforcement attention away from Gigante, showcasing his loyalty and strategic thinking. Salerno oversaw various lucrative criminal enterprises including loan sharking, extortion, bookmaking, and labor racketeering. Operating out of the Palma Boy Social Club in East Harlem, he maintained a strong grip on the Bronx and Harlem territories. His influence extended beyond local operations, as he played a significant role in national mafia affairs through the Commission. Salerno's legacy was significantly shaped by his indictment in the historic Mafia Commission trial of 1985-86, orchestrated by U.S. Attorney Rudolph Giuliani. Salerno, along with leaders of other major mafia families, was convicted of participating in a conspiracy to control organized crime in America. He received a 100-year prison sentence, highlighting the federal government's efforts to dismantle the mafia's power structure. Salerno's arrest and conviction marked the beginning of the decline of the Mafia's dominance in the U.S. His downfall, along with those of other high-ranking mobsters, disrupted the traditional hierarchy of organized crime families. However, his ability to maintain a stronghold for decades before his arrest demonstrated the Genovese family's resilience and adaptability under his influence. Salerno embodied the traditional Mafia code of omerta, silence, and was known for his low-profile demeanor despite his high-ranking position. He was respected and feared within the Mafia for his intelligence and ability to maintain discipline and order within his criminal enterprises. Tony Salerno is remembered as a symbol of the Mafia's golden era in the mid-20th century, representing both its strength and eventual vulnerability. His role in shaping the Genovese crime family's strategies and his involvement in the commission trial left an indelible mark on organized crime history. While his actions contributed to the Mafia's economic and territorial power during his time, his eventual conviction also highlighted the federal government's capacity to challenge and dismantle organized crime's grip on American society.